All right, and now I'd like to welcome you all to the men's portion of App State Basketball Media Day. We're going to kick things off with the players portion of the schedule. From my left to right, we got Michael Marcus, Kasen Jennings, Eren Banks, and Alonzo Dodd. We'll go ahead and fire with questions for the four of them. I'll just ask that if you do have a question, just raise your hand, state your name, and then state your affiliation. But we'll go ahead and get started.
Jacob Pearsall, 90.5 WASU. We have a former Georgia Southern player here now. I know we were going to be playing them away at Georgia Southern. I just want to know your thoughts on that matchup. How do you feel about them right now?
I feel like I'm going to treat it like any other game. I mean, they're my old school, but, you know, they're rivals at this point, so I'm going to just treat it like any other game.
And for the returners, Alonzo and Michael Marcus Jr., you guys have had some time now to work with the squad. Are you guys trying to take that step up as leaders now? I know you're just a sophomore and a junior, but you're these veterans now on the team. So how do you guys step up to that role?
I think that's a big thing that I know I personally took a challenge to this summer and this offseason was just leadership. But we got a bunch of upperclassmen, so it's kind of easy to do. And our confidence through the roof as our leaders. So that's all I can say.
Playing under guys like CJ and Miles last year, they give a good example of what it felt like to lead. So just like following what they were doing, keeping the culture.
And for the new guys, I mean, the App State fans don't know much about you yet. What is one thing that you want the App State faithful to know about you going into this season?
We're going to compete. We're going to play hard. We're going to get after it. We're going to compete every single play.
We got a great group of guys. Like Eren said, is going to compete at a high level and going to give it their all for App State.
Bob Dillner, AWN. Zoe, let's talk about you first. You came in here singing, whistling, all sorts of stuff. You're smiling, you're happy. What's going on inside that head? You know, second year here, you had a good season. How much optimism do you have right now?
Man, I love being around these guys. They'll tell you I got like a playlist in my head. I just sing and I kind of just get out my comfort zone. But just being around these guys and being there every day with each other is just I'm comfortable. So I think you can take that back to his question with the leadership. Like that's just something they see me as outgoing and being able to talk to everybody. But yeah, the vibe is good this year. It was good last year, but we got something different this year. It's nice.
Aaron, Michael, I mean, just, thoughts on, I could see a vibe about Zoe right now. Okay, and you guys smile when I said that. So what does that smile mean? What does he mean right now?
I mean, that's him every day. He's a jokester. He brings the energy and the vibes every day. Like you said, he has a playlist in his head. That's sometimes it's the same songs on repeat. Sometimes it's different songs. But that's just him. So when you ask him that question, that's why we smile. I mean, it's funny for you to realize that when he walked in, he's singing and he's so joyful. But that's just him. And we all love him, all 15 of us. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. That's him every day. So it don't change. It don't stop. It's every day. So it's him.
Like, to your point, like you said, the same song, probably the same 10 seconds sometimes. But he brings the energy to the team that's contagious, and you want that in the leader as well. And he's someone that he is that constant when things go south. So he's something we can all gravitate to.
I'd love to see you play the piano and him sing. That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be a good duo right there.
That's right. Eren and Kasen, what led you to App State? Especially you, right? Georgia Southern, but he hit you hard right on the first question. But what led you to App State?
Just looking from the outside in, looked like they had a great culture, and seeing they pass, they win a lot. So, and I want to show that I can win too. So, why not come to a school that gonna help me get there? And when I came on my visit, just being with the guys, the culture is amazing, and knowing that the return is coming back. So, I mean, that was just a no-brainer for me.
Tanner Smith, assistant coach, he recruited me at Kennesaw. And so I was with him my freshman year, and he left my sophomore year. And we had a great bond when I was at Kennesaw. He ended up going to Stephen F. Austin and eventually came here. So as soon as I hit the portal, he contacted me. It was like he would love to have me here. And when I came up on my visit, Boone is a beautiful place, the mountains. It's a great vibe up here. And then when I got around the team and the staff, it was just so family-oriented. You could tell the guys really cared for each other. And, I'm all about family. So that stuck out to me. And I watched them play. Too, 3-on-3. And they were playing so hard. That's what really stood out to me. And, that's kind of my game. I play hard. So when I saw them playing, and it wasn't even a practice, this was just them putting something together. Yeah, off-season work. They were just playing 3-on-3, and I was like, yeah, this might be the spot. It's a beautiful college town, beautiful vibe up here. The coaching staff is great. The players, they all love each other. So it's like, why not App State?
Michael and Zoe, you guys as the leaders, right? You watched you play last year, and you really blossomed, as athletes on the court. But what do you see right now from this team that is going to say, hey, we are contenders this year here in the Sun Belt? What do you see individually?
I see togetherness, not even on a basketball court, but off. We're with each other every day. We're going out to eat, hanging out at apartments. There'll be random days where I'm just sitting in my living room, and Kasen or EB, they'll come show up to my house and just chill with us. So just having that group of guys with all 15 of us, with Jason, Luke, just a lot of guys who like to be around each other. I think that stands out to me the most. Like I said before, this is the best team I've been on that's together. So I'm looking forward to the season.
I would say you see passion, you see drive and competitiveness, because in everything we do, whether it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and so on and so forth, no one wants to lose a single rep. All our scrimmages go down to the last play. And then you can see, instead of someone who they might get down, they're like, okay, when's the next scrimmage? Anxious to play again. So competitiveness and drive.
Hey guys, Parker Eklund with the Appalachian. Eren, I want to start with you. Congrats on being named second team preseason All Sun Belt. Does that add any pressure or anything going into this season?
Pressure? No. I mean, it's kind of like fuel to the fire, It's good to be recognized by the league, so that's all it really is, just being recognized.
Alonzo and Kasen, you guys are both seniors coming into the season. Different ways. Alonzo, you're a returning senior. Kasen, you have NCAA tournament experience. What do you guys hope to bring from a leadership aspect from where you guys are coming from?
For me personally, I would say everything I've learned throughout my college experience, bringing that to this team. I played for a great coach under Amir Abdurrahim, and he taught me a lot, taught me a whole lot. He was a great leader, a great example for me as a man. So just being an example for my teammates on and off the court, and bringing that voice on and off the court, just telling them stuff that they need to hear throughout the season. And, of course, like you said, the tournament experience, I know what it takes to get there and what it should look like. So just bringing that every day and doing the best I can to bring that every day.
For me, I know y'all probably tired of hearing about the old guys, but playing under CJ and Miles, especially Miles, taught me a lot coming here last year. Even though I wasn't playing at first, he was just pouring confidence in me, just kept pouring confidence in me every day, every practice. So I learned a lot from him, and I think that's what I try to do this year. Just pouring confidence in the guys. When things aren't going good, still installing that you're gonna make the next shot or you're gonna make the next play. So just learn that from him, and then teaching people this year or doing my job this year to kind of pour confidence in guys and give them that extra bump they need to be the best player they can be.
For our new guys, what's it been like adjusting to a new school these past couple of months? And for our returners, what's it been like to have some sort of familiarity here in Boone?
For me, I mean, I tell these guys every day, it's fun. Like, just being around them and the staff every day, like, this is everything I could ask for my last year. Like Zoe said, we have a great group of guys that are genuinely good people. Like, you don't get that on every team. I mean, there's egos here, there's selfishness, but we truly have like a great group of people, and they make it fun for me to just wake up every day and go to practice and go to work. So it's been fun. Everything I could ask for. My family, they'll call me and ask me how it's been. I tell them the same thing. It's amazing every time. Like, it's amazing. So
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Just being around these guys, I mean, it's never a dull moment with us. Like, we always laughing, joking, but when it's time to get serious, we serious. And that's the fun part about it. We can leave the on-court stuff on court and then come and just have fun outside the court. And Boone, just amazing. I mean, it's different from Georgia Southern. It's hot down there, sunny all the time. Right now it's a little cold. It's cold, like, a lot much earlier than it would be in Georgia. So, I mean, it's just amazing.
Like, being up here for a second year from just Boone, like, mountains, being up in the clouds, everything, nature's around you. Like, you have a great view whenever you wake up. You ain't seeing cold yet, EB. Like, give us some time. And then like, being around this team familiar, what I like about like this program is when they can change players and have the same culture. Like, you see App State always competes regardless of who we have. You see that the system they have works. You see that we compete as well, and that doesn't change. So I say that speaks a lot to the coaching staff and the culture they built here, and then also how they're able to train their players and the players they bring in to help hold that same culture.
For me, I love Boone. It's been a good. This is gonna be my second year, so it's been a good 2 years. Just going outside and just seeing fans or seeing people who know me and saying hi to me and taking pictures, like, that's something that I enjoy a lot and I take pride in, and I always want to get a conversation with anybody who's around. I'm not just like this around them. Like, I'll be singing at the store and in front of people. I kind of embarrass my teammates a little bit sometimes, but that's fine. But no, just being around like the people of Boone is just great. So that's what I can say for that.
Max Schwanz with the Appalachian. This is kind of for Alonzo and Michael. With these new groups of guys coming in this transfer portal and this revolving door, how is this team's identity similar and different from last year?
I believe it's similar in the way of we got a lot of talent. We got a lot of talent. Last year we had a lot of talent too. The difference, I don't want to keep saying it, but we was together last year, but we wasn't how we are this year. Like, that's a big emphasis for me. Just how together we are on the court and off the court, and just trusting each other. Like, trusting each other to do the right thing, and holding each other accountable. Like, we could say something to Mike, or I could say something to Jalen or KJ, just saying something to those guys and knowing that they're gonna keep their head up, and they can say something to me. Like, we spoke about the other day. Like, nobody's bigger than the program. Nobody's too high to get talked to. So I feel like that's something that this year that we could really emphasize, just togetherness in all situations.
I would say similar. Again, I would say talent there, like Zoe was saying, and then once again, like, competitiveness. I know it sounds like we're a broken record, but there's emphasis there. There's a reason why I keep saying the same thing, because that's there, and you don't always get that. Only difference is different people. Same goal, same team, different people.
Hey guys, Trey Blake, Appalachian Weekly News.
stay with Michael and Alonzo. You guys played with some Mountaineer greats last year. You specifically, Miles Tate, and then for you, Michael, C.J. Huntley. I'll start with you. How did you really learn from C.J., and then for you, how did you learn from Miles?
For me, learned a lot from just guarding him getting cooked a lot of the time. Tricks of the trade, you think you figured something out, and he's like, here's another card I haven't shown yet. I say where he is right now, all he works for it, work for that, fully deserves it. And then learn from him. I spoke to him saying, how do I uphold the culture? I know it's going to be asked me next year. I feel like y'all did a very good job, you and Miles. He told me, actually gave me a lot of confidence. He was saying, do what you do now more consistently at a higher effort, and you can lead better by example than what you say. So just taking that, doing the dirty work, and just doing what I've been doing.
I learned from CJ a lot too. Just seeing him put in work, and then like the way he plays so hard. That's what I learned from CJ. But Miles is different because he's a guard. He's in my position. But just the way Miles worked, the way he talked to people, the way he led, just all those things go into effect that he's like you said, a Mountaineer great. I remember one conversation we had when I wasn't playing. He was just telling me, like, stay ready, we need you. And he was just, like I said, pouring confidence in me. Like, I couldn't thank him enough for doing that because I wouldn't be where I was today if he didn't. He was just pouring confidence in me. So learning that, how to lead for real, I say I learned that from Miles as one of the biggest things last year.
For the two newcomers, we spoke about, the cold kind of being a change, but what have you guys been doing specifically the last couple weeks? Fall is always a big time in Boone. You guys been doing a bunch of, players going out together. Have you two spent time together doing something? Just you two, new players as well. What are y'all doing to kind of get more fit with the community rather than just the team?
I would say it hasn't been just us two because this team is not really – I've been on a lot of teams where, they were clicked up and the team wasn't really fully together. We truly do everything together. We go, for instance, we'll go to Ale House on Thursdays and go eat wings. I think it's 75-cent wings or something. 45, okay, my bad. Yeah, 45. Well, we'll go eat wings as a team, go to Comeback Shack as a team. We do everything as a team. So I wouldn't say just us two. You know what? Oh, yeah, that too. We're about to go to an NBA game next week, watch the Charlotte Hornets and Magic. But yeah, we do everything together. And so I would say that's been a big thing that stood out to me this year is this team is not clicked up. Anybody could be hanging out with anybody on any given day. It could it's different groups of people hanging out, or either that or we're all together. So it's been fun though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely the same thing. The only time you'll probably see just two of us is you just come to our house and nobody's there. That's the only time you'll only see just two of us. We really do everything together. We on court, off court, wherever. If you see two, just know about 13 more behind them. So that's all.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. 45-cent wings, I may have to reconsider my dinner plans. Yeah. Last year I wrote a story called The Wild Wild West of College Basketball because looking at the portal and NIL and the way the whole thing's been turned upside down and the expansion of the portal. This Dustin Kerns-led coaching staff has done a really remarkable job the last 2 or 3 years in molding a lot of new players in the player turnover. Have you guys been conscious of what they have been able to accomplish or achieve with molding those teams together, and did that success play into your decision to come here?
I would say for me, their success over the years definitely brought me in or geared me more to come into App. I actually played them my sophomore year, and I just remember how hard they played. I remember the fans were going crazy, and I knew I was coming into a culture that was all about winning, that have won at the highest level. So I would definitely say their success over the years has definitely brought me closer and geared me towards coming to App for sure.
Yeah, same for me. You know, I've been in the league, and there were rivals, so I seen it firsthand. I know how it gets in homes against a rival team. It's hard to win in here, so that definitely kind of like, you know, I've seen it. I've been a part. Well, I haven't been a part of it, but you know, I've been on the other side of it. But I just been there.
Well, we've talked a lot about the team chemistry and the culture that this team brings, but I want to hear from you guys individually. What is one thing that you guys worked on over the offseason that you think is going to really improve your game as a whole?
For me, knowing that one of the biggest things that I can bring is my effort. It was conditioning, which, looking back, I'm not sure why, but you're going to see the fruit of that. Asking Connor for workouts, going to the beach, running the beach, bike work, and then just overall working on my outside shot to help spread the floor for my team. And just being consistent there, building that endless motor.
I would say for me, a focus for me over this past summer was getting better with my leadership and my voice. I know my voice has always been there in the leadership, but I feel like this past year with the team that I was on last year, I kind of, I guess you would say, lowballed them or shorthanded them just because there was so much going on that last year. With us losing our coach and stuff, that I was kind of just lost throughout the season. And I wanted to bring that juice back for myself and pour into these guys. And so I would say my main focus was just, focus on being present for them every day and being the best version of myself and the best leader that I can be. And, for me, basketball will take care of itself. I work on everything when it comes to my game, decision making, shot making ability, everything, finishing. So I knew that if I took care of the character part of myself, that everything else would fall in line. So yeah, that's it.
I would say for me, definitely probably my body. It's like I was like 170 something when I got here, and I'm like 190. So like just growing my body, it helps me on the court, on offense, on defense, just being able to bump guys, move guys out their spot. So that really helped me a lot.
I'd say gaining weight, obviously, getting a little bigger. And then, like Kasen said, I really focused on leadership this summer, like leadership and having a voice. Because you can lead in different ways. You can lead by example. You can lead just doing certain things, but I feel like what I needed to work on was voicing my opinion and telling guys or telling myself like certain things. So I think that was a big step for me, getting out of my comfort zone and actually talking and leading in that way. And then another thing I say is I've been my jump shot. I want to get to a higher percentage on threes. So. Them three things, that's what I focused on.
Austin Cochran, 90.5 WASU. Michael, you along with C.J. Huntley had multiple 10-plus rebound games. With more minutes expected this year, what should we expect out of you on the defensive side?
Same job now, just expected just more. I would say about the same. I'm not going to just give numbers because, just watch the games and then I'll just do what I've been trained to do. Help clean the glass, get more possession of my team, and then just help the team get rebounds, help win more games.
Alrighty, thanks, guys. Be back in shortly with the assistants.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, and now we have the coaching staff. From my left to right, we have Associate Head Coach Bob Szorc, we have Tim Johnson, and then we have Associate Head Coach Tanner Smith on the far right. We'll go ahead and fire away with questions for the three of them. Again, just ask that you state your name and affiliation, but we'll go ahead with the questions for them.
Hey, Max Schwanz with the Appalachian. I have a question for you, Coach Szorc. Coming into this season, losing C.J. Huntley and looking forward to Michael Marcus Jr., what do you see from him being able to add to this team?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. We've got a great stable of bigs. Michael's one of several. And I think the development that Coach Kerns has shown here over the years is we just kind of reload, you know. You don't necessarily replace. We just grow those guys into the roles that they can certainly perform. So Michael's had a great spring, summer. So has Luke, so has Chad, and so has Andren.
Stay with Coach Szorc. Luke's the only center listed on the roster. Are we going to see more from him coming into the season?
Luke's had a great summer. You saw flashes last year, and a credit to all those guys. They put in time, they put in work, and the goal is now for them to take the next step forward, and they're certainly ready to do that.
You've been all 7 years here with Coach Kerns. What's different about this year?
I think every year's different in some way. Every year's fun. Every year's different. It's a different journey. We've got a great staff. We've got a great group of guys. And that's been consistent for 7 years. And so we just continue to hope, build on what's been built so far.
Coach Tim, kind of the other side. First year here. Players said it was kind of cold. You feel the same way?
No, I've lived in some cold places, so this is not cold at all. But the gym is always the same temp. It's about 74, 75 in there. So no, I love it. Boone's awesome. To Coach's point, great staff, tremendous winning environment, winning culture. So really excited to be here.
So how is the two guys to the left and right of you really gotten you ready for the season, and how has Coach Kerns gotten you ready for the season as well?
They're just sharp. I think they've done a great job of pulling me along, and I think we've all been a part of and experienced a lot of winning. But anytime you enter a new place, there are little nuanced things you got to learn about their terminology, or it could be roles or how they do things. But my biggest mindset is to wherever I can help to improve and help to support these guys and our guys, and ultimately win. That's what I'm all about. So working with two of the best, and I think that's obvious that they've contributed a lot to help this place have a historic run, and we're just getting started.
Jacob Pearsall, 90.5 WASU. End of the day, you guys know this team more than any of us do. I just want to hear from each of you. What is one thing at practice that you've really noticed and it's just like, hey, we are really good at this. This is something that we can build upon in the regular season going into the playoffs?
I guess both guys are looking at me. No, I think for me it's been our group is really connected. We have a really tight-knit group. Sometimes with teams you can see certain guys with certain people all the time or things like that. I think what's been really cool with this group on the floor and off has been their cohesion. So you'll see some guys one day, you'll see those same guys with different people the next day. I think on the court that chemistry is shown, and they've been able to mesh pretty quickly. And in this new kind of climate, you never really know kind of how that's going to go, but that speaks really to their character as who they are as people as well as players.
Yeah, just I've noticed an extreme amount of gratitude in this group. They get new gear. They text the staff, thank you. Managers help them rebound. They say thank you. We go to places in the community. They say thank you, and they mean it. So I just the amount of gratitude, and we have it written on the walls. It's the currency for success and gratitude go hand in hand. So I've been really impressed with guys their age to have that kind of perspective on how to treat people, that some can do things for you. Others, you just do it because it's the right thing to do. So I've been really impressed with the character of our guys.
And I would echo Coach Smith and Coach Johnson. And then the one thing I'd add to that is I think they've embraced the fabric of this place. They've all come from different places, but certainly here there's a pride in the sense of who we are and what's been built. And so, like Coach Johnson said, there's an appreciation. And like Coach Smith said, there's a great chemistry amongst them.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. You may have touched on a little bit on this, but Bob and Tanner, especially, I guess this is for you guys. The world of basketball has changed a lot in the last several years. You guys have been part of it. This Dustin Kerns-led coaching staff has really done a quite remarkable job the last 3 years in handling the roster turnover from year to year to year, and with results on the court. What is it about the Dustin-led coaching staff that makes this all so special and so successful?
Yeah, I'd say clarity. Like when we come in here, actually, and start kind of rebuilding the roster from year to year, it's very clear what coach is about, and kind of like Coach Szorc said, the fabric of this place, the young men that are successful here, there has been a little bit of a blueprint. And when it comes to high character men that love basketball, love being a part of a team, love being a part of winning, we can ask those questions pretty quickly and start filtering that information in a hurry. So I think clarity from Coach Kerns has been consistent, and it has echoed, through our program, and you see it year in and year out with the type of young men that we have on our team.
Yeah, I would echo that and say our staff, first of all, with Coach Martin and Coach Fay, like there's alignment from those guys, our whole entire staff. And then the second piece of that is with Coach Smith saying clarity, like we eliminate a lot of options because Coach Kerns is very explicit with what he wants. And who we are has not changed in 7 years here. You can see the product on the court in the first year till now. And so it eliminates some decisions very quickly in that process. And it attracts us to people who we want to be around. And so from staff to players to Coach Kerns, top down, he's an incredible leader, and that's part of it.
Bob Dillner, AWN. Bob and Tanner, this one is for you first. We're here to learn about this team. We're here to get the news out about this team and get butts in the seats. What is the difference between this team this year and last year? And what are we going to see out on the court?
I think it kind of goes back to this, probably my first answer. I think our chemistry is really good, but we have guys that really love, kind of like Coach Szorc said, this place, and they've embraced App State. Each one of them chose to be here, and I think that's what's special kind of when you do rebuild these rosters every year is like there are people that choose to be here, and they've embraced this place. They've been great in the community. But I think you're going to see a real joy for their own success, for each other's success, and for the success of App State and the basketball program as a whole. And I think that's going to be contagious. And I think when people come and watch this group, it's going to be hard not to enjoy the energy and the passion and the effort that they play with because it is going to be, palpable and contagious, and it's fun to be around every day. Like we have not had a bad day. And that says a lot when you start practice in June, right? Like we have not had a bad day, and it makes our job a lot easier because we get to come in and just have fun with this group and help them get better.
Yeah, I'd echo the same thing. Like we haven't had a bad day. And to your question, like it seems like every year for us, you get to restart, reteach, redo everything. So there's a different excitement level. This group has a great chemistry. They make plays that this community will celebrate. And when you come to a game this year, you are going to feel their energy in the stands. And I think that's, yes, putting the ball in the bucket, yes, getting stops. Like that's part of the game. But the other part is, do you have an attraction to the people on the court? And this group has done that from the time they step foot on campus.
About energy, a couple athletes that were just in here. Tim, let's go to you on this one because there's some experience coming in, and two players that we know a little bit about are certainly Eren and Kasen, who seems very vibrant. What are they going to do for this squad this year?
Kasen, I'll start with him. Just really impressed with his leadership, really impressed with his perspective for a guy who has accomplished what he's accomplished. He's very humble. If you would never know it, if you just saw him on the street, he really, truly, nothing's above Kasen. If it's sweat on the floor, he'll go get it up. If it's somebody that needs something on the team, he'll do it for them. And he's making sure everybody's involved. It's not, I'm up here, everybody else is down here. He really, truly cares about people. And then, I could literally have substituted Eren's name for that same sentence. But, Eren he brings a little bit of flavor and confidence in the way he walks and the way he talks. And he walks with a chip on his shoulder that I think is good for this team. And he's ready to compete at a high level every day. He doesn't have days where it's like, where is he today? He's going to be consistent in his temperament, consistent with his attitude, and consistent with his ability to impact winning. So both those guys bring a ton to the table. And, some of it is basketball, but a lot of it is just their personality. So.
This question is for the returning coaches. You guys worked with Miles Tate and C.J. Huntley respectively. How are you guys going to work with this new group of guys to help those guys get to that level of excellence that those two players saw at App State?
Yeah, I mean, Miles and CJ, they were obviously, being a part of the program for, a few years. Their development was, over a little bit of extended period of time. The thing that I see with some of our guys like Miles and CJ is their love for the game. And I think if you really love it, we can help in some of those ways. But guys that really love it and are passionate about it, they find ways to get better and better and better and better. They crave the coaching. They crave just the work. And we have a group of guys that I believe, does that. Now it's some of our job to kind of help pinpoint some of those certain things that we think can really elevate their game here and there. But I think that's what, again, kind of attracts the type of people that are attracted to this place, see the development that Miles Tate and C.J. Huntley had and many others before them, and that's attractive to them, right? Like they want, man, I want to be here. I want to be here, and I know I'm here. And I know you guys can help me bridge the gap. And I think that goes back to the type of people that we're able to attract here to App State, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Coach Smith said earlier, character. A year ago, we're talking to you guys about the same thing with Miles and CJ. And the growth of roles is part of college basketball. And we've got a great group of guys who returned. We've got a great group of guys who came in. And each of those guys brings something to the table. And every year it's a little bit different, but the character stays the same, the chemistry stays the same, and their love for the game stays the same. And so they're a huge piece of it, and they're the reason that they're going to be good this year.
Yeah, Isaac Edwards, App TV, the A game. With this where college basketball is in the transfer portal, I want to know from each of you guys, like, what do you look for in a guy coming to App State that you want out of the transfer portal, and how do you think the guys that you brought in fit that?
Stop looking down at me.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can do it first this time.
I think that's a really good question. And I think earlier we talked about how Coach Kerns provides great clarity. When we enter into this, we know what we need, we know what we're looking for. And, there's got to be a sense of team. There's got to be a sense of humility. There's got to be a sense of understanding who you are. And this isn't necessarily rocket science or complicated. It's just very fundamental things that we believe in and we value. And then when those things align, all of a sudden those kids flourish. So I would say those things to start, and you guys can add on those.
Yeah, I would. I don't think you can talk about the portal without talking about the guys that were able to come back for us this year. And I think that helps a lot, right? Because when those guys come on a visit, they get to meet Alonzo Dodd and Luke Wilson and Michael Marcus and Jason Clark and Andrew. Like, they get to meet those guys. And so they get to see, like, oh, like, these are going to be my teammates. I might be living with a couple of them, right? Like, hey, these are the type of guys that this program attracts. I'm like them. Like, I like that. And so even though you might have to sign 5 or 6 or 4 or 5, and you might be the first guy to commit or sign out of the portal, like, hey, the other guys behind me are going to have the same values that I'm about. And that's very consistent with how it works here. And like I said, there's been kind of a formula that's worked, and a lot of it's just based on the type of people, right? Like, when those guys come on campus, they truly feel like that feeling. I think we've all been here long enough where, like, you feel it here at App State, and that's what makes it fun. When you step on campus, some of these guys have never been to the mountains, and they come here and they're like, man, like they don't want to leave. So I think that we get to attract those type of people, but it starts with those guys that were able to come back for us to help with some of that this offseason.
These two of the best in the business. I'm not sure I could add to that. I think they pretty much covered it. You know, guys that love to win, love to be a part of winning, and to his point, you attract what you are. So we make sure that the guys in the program, you know, have an opinion and say on the type of guys we're getting, and then you know, ultimately, you know, it comes down to retention. You know, our focus is primarily on, you know, our biggest portal is our locker room, you know, and making sure that those guys understand where we are and how we feel about them. And I think that if you look over the longevity of the program, you know, at the time I had to do it from afar. Now I do it from here. We've won in retention. You know, the players you mentioned, you know, those are 4 or 5 year guys, and that's what makes it special. You know, you focus on that, and the portal will be what it is.
Any other questions for Bob, Tanner, or Tim? One more.
Coach Smith, Kasen really emphasized how important your place in this program was and him coming while he was up here. What is y'all's relationship like, even though you went to Stephen F. Austin after being at Kennesaw State?
Yeah, Kasen and I've known Kasen. I actually showed him a picture yesterday of before he had a lot of facial hair. So, like, I've known Kasen a long time. And, you know, I think Coach Johnson hit on it. He's a great leader. He's a great young man. But you know, we spent a year and some change together. Obviously, I went to Stephen F. Austin. We were able to always stay in touch. And then when kind of the opportunity arose where he was looking for, you know, kind of a fresh start, you know, obviously what happened with Coach Amir and, you know, his relationship with Coach Amir was really difficult. And so when he was looking for a place, like I knew the people here he would love because I knew the type of person he was. And so when he came on the visit and he was able to meet all these people in person, you know, like, and be around Coach. And, like, I think that was what was, like, I never wanted to put him in a situation where it was like, hey, like, our relationship's really strong. Like come here. Like, that's not how this works, right? Like, the only way it works is for us all to be on the same page top to bottom, from the athletic department to our players. And when he was able to meet people in the athletic department, people in town, the other guys on the team, the whole staff, like, it was I knew he'd feel the same feeling that I felt when I got here, where it was like, man, this place is awesome. And so to have him here has been great. And being back a part of his journey is really cool. But I truly believe that he's in the right place for him, and we have 14 other guys, 15 other guys that feel the same way, that they are in the right place for them at the right time, and that's when you can have really special years.
All righty, thanks everyone. We'll be back in with Coach Kerns shortly.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, and now we are on to head coach Dustin Kerns. We'll let him start with an opening statement, and then we'll move into questions.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for everybody being here. Great crowd. I really appreciate you all being here. And so here we are again, another, year 7 here in Boone and App State. And so really excited about this group. I feel like that a big part of our strength is our depth. Certainly we have a lot of great depth in players and great people. I think we've added great people to already high character group. And so excited to get going. It's hard to believe here in about 8-9 days we'll be at Central Michigan and open up our season.
All right, we'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Hey, Coach, Parker Eglin with the Appalachian. The players were in here before this talking about how together they are as a team. What have you seen on the sideline watching this?
Yeah, I think once again, it starts with their character. It starts with how they were raised, great families, great parents. I think a lot of them have great siblings, right? And so there is a genuine camaraderie. I think there's a genuine chemistry that we noticed and early on. And so sometimes that stuff's hard to, script. It's hard to, certainly in the summer we do a lot of team activities, but those team activities are even better because some of that stuff seemed really natural and genuine. And so I think also part of it is now just in college athletics, and even going back to high school and AAU, like they're used to having different teammates. But I think when you're good people, all right, you learn that you're part of a team sport and that you need others to have yourself be successful, and you're part of something bigger than yourself. And so I think we've got a lot of people that understand those things.
So you've had a lot of success, and I guess the team as well, finding players, really good players below the D1 level. I think of Trayvon Spillers and Dior Connors recently.
Yeah.
Could you talk about like the process of finding these guys and what you see this year with KJ Vassar and Jalen Todd?
Yeah, ironically, KJ came from the same junior college as Trayvon, and so there was a level of respect and from that program and that coach and Pat Smith. There was also a level of trust, and then once we spent time with KJ and his family, he felt a need from a guard that could shoot the ball and handle the basketball, and so certainly that was part of that with him. And then with Jalen Todd, certainly we wanted to add another older, experienced guard. Jalen has had a really good college career. Jalen also, when we made calls about him, just really seemed like a great fit. I think that's probably some of the most important thing of all this. A guy can be able to make shots and be able to defend, but if they're not a great fit for App State and quote our culture, then it's not going to work. And so we really felt like that, both of those young men were great fits for our program on and off the court.
You've got a lot of in-state opponents on this non-conference schedule. Was that intentional? And
certainly it's intentional. I think that, as you build a non-conference schedule right now, especially in the Sun Belt, which we're a league that, is over 12 different states, certainly trying to stay regional is strategic in the non-conference. Now you have two already built in, MAC Challenge games. And so, certainly when you fill in the other games, we've always, I think since we've been here, we've played a UNC Wilmington, we've played North Carolina, we've played Duke, we've played NC State, we've played Wake Forest, and now we are playing, Elon and High Point again, and UNC Asheville, but then renewing. We've played ECU, East Carolina, and Charlotte since we've been here, but now those are two new 4-year series, and so one of those will be in Boone and one of those will be on the road alternating years, and so I think that was very important to get those games accomplished. North Carolina Central has been an extremely good program in our state. Coach Moten does a great job, and so that's another in-state team, and so that's important. It's important for our fans, and it's important for us to play those in-state games.
You've had a lot of success in this building over your career. Can you just talk about how, the students in the community really help make this place a tough place?
Absolutely. I really feel like that, here in the home center and here in Boone, that we've started to develop a good reputation of having a true home court atmosphere. And I think anytime you do that, you really raise the level of your team, and then you really hurt the opponent. And so both of those things are very important. And once again, I think that we are starting to get a reputation in a good way of having a really strong student section, and our community and fans have been great. And so I think that we have created a really difficult place to play and a difficult place for someone to come in here and get a win. And so we appreciate all that support, and let's keep building on it, right? 25-4 in the last 2 years here. And so I did not major in math, but I think that's pretty good.
Jacob Pearsall, 90.5 WASU. Hope you're doing well. The first thing I want to ask is, from your perspective, what are you most excited for? I mean, the new season's here, energy's building around the high country for this. What are you personally most looking forward to for this season?
I love one thing that I think that, when you're in coaching, all right? You're in coaching because at some point your playing career had to end, right? And so, I played high school basketball and all that stuff. But, I think that you grow to love to be part of a team. You love to get with a group of excellent coaches, great players, formulate a plan over months, and then execute that plan. And sometimes that plan is an identity. Sometimes that plan is not schematic. It's more of a brand. It's an identity. It's a home court. Seeing those all that hard work of a lot of people unite and see young men live out their dreams of playing Division I college basketball, getting recognized, graduating, all that process is kind of what excites me, learning and keep growing. I think that if you're, as a coach, I still want to be an ongoing learner. I think that, there'll be a new scheme that we try this year. There'll be something that one of our coaching staff brings an idea and we execute it. Like, I think those are exciting too.
The identity of the squad throughout practice so far, what would you say the identity of this team is going into the regular season?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question because I think a lot of things come to mind. I think that we play with really extreme physicality. I think we have a lot of toughness to us. And I talked about our depth. I really truly feel like that we have 10 different starters. And it is truly, really a competitive environment. There is not something that I can do as a coach that can stack one team, and I think that's really exciting. It's really competitive. Doesn't matter what group's together, and they're really fun to coach because they're really good kids, and so that's probably the most exciting part.
Bob Dillner, AWN coach. I want to talk about a couple of the players that we just talked to because they seem like they're characters.
Yeah, hey, Bob.
Especially Zoe. Zoe came in here singing, and everybody was laughing. How has he developed both on the court and as a leader of this team in 1 year?
Yeah, I think that certainly Zoe had a big role for us last year, and we can certainly have the same expectations this year. And I think that he has grown a little bit. Very comfortable with himself, right? And I think that I always talk to our players like, hey, I want you to be yourself, right? Like, I don't want you to try to be somebody you're not. I don't want you to try to fit in. We hopefully create an environment where they're really, truly able to be themselves. And I think that he has gotten comfortable with that. And I think that, through last year, he's gotten confident as being a really good player in the Sun Belt. And I think that other guys are looking up to him. Certainly as someone that has, been in this program and had some really good moments. And so, I'm proud of him and proud of how he continues to just be the best version of Alonzo Dodd, which is really what we want.
Kasen, it seems like obviously he's got a lot of experience. What does he bring here to App State? Looking for a fresh start. What did you see in him?
Yeah, Kasen is someone that we've competed against. Tanner Smith, had coached him and been around him. And so, but Kasen is a guy that's a proven winner. Kasen is a guy that has got great size. He's got great versatility defensively and offensively. He's a very capable scorer, but he's also a guy that's a very capable elite defender. And so he's just a ball player. And that's probably the way I would just describe him. And I think that, he certainly went through a, unfortunate tragedy last year. And it was just more than a coach. It was a family member. It was a coach. It was a leader. It was someone as a mentor. It was a lot of things for Kasen. And so, certainly, we are hoping that, this is an experience that he's got a familiar face, obviously, with Tanner, but we can provide that family atmosphere here for him as well. But, he's awesome to coach. he's another great just fit for our program. But certainly there's a special place in my heart for him, and really hoping that his last year is his best year.
Last question for you is, Eren was in here. I want to know how excited you are as a coach to have him on your bench versus out on that court going up against you.
Yeah, so we've had some incredible battles with Georgia Southern, and a lot of games that have kind of gone either way. We've got great respect for their program, and when we've never recruited a Sun Belt player before. Certainly when Eren popped in, our staff immediately perked up, and because we had a great respect for his game. Not only his game, but when you compete against someone, you certainly try to, study mannerisms, try to study how competitive they are, what kind of teammate they are. And so our impression of him was really good. And then through the phone calls to him and his family, just became more and more impressed. And to find out, our whole league was recruiting him. So we felt like that either we're going to get him or we're going to continue to play against him. And certainly when you don't like competing against someone, you really want to coach them. And so certainly we're glad Eren's here, and certainly we're excited for him. But once again, part of it was the mutual respect that we have for their program and having him.
Austin Cochran, 90.5 WSU. Mentioned earlier these a lot of in-state games. I want to specifically point out the UNC Asheville and High Point games, as though they're both neutral sites, not too far from here in Asheville and Hickory, respectively. What does that mean for the fan base who maybe can't make it up to Boone on a random Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's a great question because that is strategic, and some of those are around the holiday season, right? So we have been trying to, in our 6 years here, play in the western part of the state. And so this is the first time we've really been able to get over there and play in the Nashville area. And so that is after Thanksgiving. That's a neutral site game. And so obviously that's strategic around the holidays. And then the next one, High Point, who, won 30 games last year and went to the NCAA tournament. We played them on a neutral site last year. We're trying to play a game in Hickory every other year. I think that is strategic for us. And so we've expanded our campus there as a university. We're hoping to continue to grow that campus. Hickory is such a great place for App State. And so playing them, another really good program around the holidays. So that one's around Christmas on a Sunday, December, I think the 14th or whatever. And so 2 Sundays around the holiday season will hopefully give our fan base in 2 great areas for us, Asheville and Hickory, a chance to come see our team play. Once again, playing those around the holidays was strategic, and we want to continue to play around this state.
Hey, Coach Trey Blake, Appalachian Weekly News. You said that you consider 10 players on your roster to be starters, but as long as I've been here, you've played with 2 bigs. You've played, CJ and then Jaleel and then CJ and Justin in prior years. Is that still kind of the focus with Luke Wilson being the only center listed on the roster?
Yeah, and we just, I think it may say center there. Like we really kind of go guards and bigs. And so, when you talk about Luke Wilson, is a key player for us, when you talk about, Michael Marcus, when you certainly talk about a guy like Chad Moody, who's another really good player for us, who is, SWAC freshman of the year and someone that is coming off of a surgery but is back healthy now, someone that we're really excited about. And then Andrew Ninjak, someone that has been in our program and set out and had professional experience. Those 4 bigs combined with 6 guards, is how we can get to 10 starters. But, Luke Wilson certainly got a great amount of just pure size and athleticism and got some rim protected. So is Chad Moody. But we consider all those 4 just, quote, bigs.
That perfectly brings me to Andrew and Jack. He had a great summer for Switzerland. What's kind of your assertion of how he can bring that European flair to App State?
Yeah, Andren, I want to brag on him off the court to start too. So he has been on the chancellor's list both semesters. Has never made a B at App State, and I say that, and I'll probably jinx him this semester. But I think it also correlates to him on the court, because he's just a very, very solid player. Does not make a lot of mistakes. He's not out there hitting grand slams and home runs, but is hitting a single, and then he'll hit a double over and over again. And so he is a really, really good just team basketball player. Obviously, the international experience has helped him. And playing this summer and helping Switzerland get to in the World Cup as far as they've ever gotten in the history, I think was a big part of Andren. And so, certainly we're excited about, what he can bring and as well.
Hey, Coach. Isaac Edwards, App TV, the A game. This year, we do see a big gap with C.J. Huntley leaving and Miles Tate. It leaves a pretty big hole for leadership. Who have you seen during these few weeks of practices have really stepped up to take that role?
Yeah, I think it's a collective effort. I really do. I think, once again, that we're not a program that has ever had captains. We're not a program that has ever had, quote, designated leaders. I want them all to feel ownership, and I want them all to feel that way. And so, I think that we have a lot of experienced players. And so I think that they've all been able to bring some sort. I mean, Luke Wilson's even shown, some flashes that a guy that's been in our program, and certainly expecting for that. And certainly, once again, the older transfers brought in have all, like Jalen Todd's an older guy. He's a 23-year-old guy that's been a Conference Player of the Year. And so, Jason Clark's also a guy that, we really pride ourselves on recruit, develop, retain, right? And Jason Clark's gotten better. I know he, quote, hasn't been mentioned today, but I think that he deserves a mention in a sense. Like, Jason Clark's been playing good basketball for us. He's a guy that's developed and gotten better. You see a guy like, Mike Marcus, certainly, contributed as a freshman, but has gotten better and better and developed. And Luke Wilson's gotten better. Andrew Induck's gotten better. Alonzo Dodd's gotten better. But, from a leadership standpoint, I really have seen flashes from all of them. And that's what I want. I want them all to feel the ownership and the accountability of what truly goes into a team.
Zach Colburn, Watauga Democrat. Coach, you brought in a player in the offseason, Jakari Brim.
Yep.
You bring in anybody like that who has the kind of credentials that he has, surpassing Chris Paul's records. Describe what kind of get that was for you guys.
Yeah, recruiting the state of North Carolina is certainly a priority for us in our state. And so Jakari's a guy that, came to our camp as a young kid, certainly impressed us. And then just right down the road, comes from a great family, a coach's son in Marlon Brim, a really good program in West Forsyth. And so the fact that he broke those records is pretty remarkable. And Jakari is going to be a really good player around here for us. I think certainly just in the landscape of college athletics, sometimes it's hard for, quote, freshmen. But he has gotten better and better since this summer, and certainly we're really excited about Jakari.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. In this wild, wild west of college basketball, roster turnover has become pretty commonplace. Maybe the modus operandi. As you've looked around the Sun Belt, what have you noticed about other teams' roster development and maybe additions to their rosters that have raised some eyebrows?
Yeah, David, I think that's an interesting question. And, our league's got 14 teams. One thing that I will say for our league, because I think our league has great coaches and great players, and I think we might be the best one-bid league in the country. Certainly we want to be more than one-bid league, but in the last decade or so, we've been a one-bid league. Our league, I think has lost the last 30 all-conference players to either graduation or the portal. So I think that our league, certainly, has experienced some challenges, and I don't think it's just men's basketball. I think that it's probably a lot of sports. But my point with 14 teams, it is really hard to kind of keep track of some of the other players that have stayed. I noticed in the first team preseason, first team, second team, third team, there are some, quote, there's some returning players, there's some new guys. But I think that's part of the exciting thing. There'll be some, like a couple years ago, Trayvon Spillers was not preseason all-conference, and he ended up on first team. I think there will be some new guys emerge. I think we've got some of those guys. I think we've got some guys that are definitely all-conference players that weren't nominated, and I think that's probably just the uncertainty of it. But I think that I know this, our league is really, really competitive, and like I said, I really feel like we've got maybe the hardest one-bid league in the country.
Any other questions for Coach Kerns? All righty.
I would like to just also say, too, I want to recognize Jacob Plecker. I really feel like in over 20 years of being in college athletics, this is something that I wanted to do today, was recognize him. I think he does an outstanding job. I think that, in all my years of, certainly being a head coach, he is the best SID that, I've had as a head coach, but also in just college coaching. He's really, really good. He's really detailed. His attitude and effort are really good, as we talk to our players about, and he tries really hard. So I want to give him a big special shout out. And then once again, I want to thank you all for being here and what y'all do for covering App State. We genuinely appreciate it. And from David and High Country Sports and locally to Watauga Democrat, like to App State Vision, all that stuff, to the local newspaper, to our student newspaper, the Appalachian. We genuinely appreciate you. And thank you very much, and we look forward to a great season.